Aaron, who does Alphonse in Full Metal Alchemist. Aaron and I both have a kind of scratchy quality to our voice that's very similar. So either he or Greg are a good choice to play any character that I do younger. Since Greg is playing Sujido, he can't play my character younger. So they voted Aaron. Well, Aaron was still a kid. He was like 13 or 14 when they recorded it. And there's all that pouring candle wax on him and all that stuff with the guy that's so shady. And they started recording and Aaron goes, Chris, I don't think I should be watching this. Because he knew he was young, he knew his parents, it's not the kind of show his parents would let him watch. And so Chris was like, oh gosh, turn off the monitor. So Chris had to completely direct Aaron in that role where Aaron had absolutely no visual. He was not able to, he'd go, okay, look, I really need you to scream like someone's breaking your finger. Okay. But yeah, Aaron, I'm so impressed with his performance to have not seen anything he was doing. And I still don't think his parents have let him see it. I think he's been like 15. So they're like, when you're 16, they told him when he was 18 he could watch it. He's like, I'm just not sure whether I want to see that. He's such a good kid. And then another question. Yes, right there.
Where and when did you get that big orange sippy cup?
Sippy cup of doom. There's always at least one question about the sippy cup of doom. I will say this. Right down here is one of my very good friends, Leslie. She's known me for years. How long have you known me? 20 years. In all the time you've known me, have I always had a large cup? There's your answer. Actually, this cup came from a friend of mine, Daniel and Emily Womack. They gave it to me a couple of Christmases ago. This is not the real Sippy Cup of Doom. The real Sippy Cup of Doom will be making its appearance soon. It is also 64 ounces. Basically, all of the stuff you see through wear and tear goes away. I have a giant red one that was my original Sippy Cup, my original 64 ounce. When Leslie first met me, I had a 32 ounce. It looks like a shot glass to me now. Once I get all of this logo stuff off, I'm going to get like my friends like Bob and Emily DeJesus and Dave Lister and Zero Reynolds and Doug Smith and Steve Bennett. I'm going to everybody, all of my artist friends from the conventions to do some sort of drawing on it and put their website, and then I'm going to clear coat the whole thing. The idea behind that was somebody told me that I should be selling advertising space to ABB and Funimation since I do so many conventions. And I'm like, well, why sell advertising space when I can advertise my friends for free? So the only thing is that Steve Bennett has said he wants to draw my face on the bottom of the cup because I spend so much time. And actually, this is too full for me to take it all the way up. That way, even when you do that, people will see you. Okay, Steve. Coca-Cola. I am deathly allergic to alcohol. It's a trip to the hospital. No, I'm a genetically designated driver. No, it's fine. Yeah, I'm completely. If anybody needs a designated driver with my friends, I'm usually it. And the thing is, everybody's like, oh, you don't know what you're missing. I'm like, yes, I do. A trip to the hospital. But and the funny thing is, the stories about Greg are exaggerated. And I will say this: I was at a convention one time, and I get onto the elevator. There's a guy who was very inebriated. I'm not sure on what. And he goes, "Hey, dude, what's in the cup?" I said, "Coke." "What else?" "Ice." "Is that it?" I said, "Yeah, I don't drink." He goes, "Man, you know who can drink?" I'm like, it's a long elevator trip. I'm like, dude. He goes, "That Greg Ayres?" Okay, our last name is Ayres. He goes, "That Greg Ayres?" Man, okay, look. He gets on the plane to go to the convention drunk, and he drinks all the way, a whole plane ride there. He gets off the plane, goes to the bar before he goes to his room. He spends a whole weekend drunk, gets back on the plane, drinks all the way back to Houston, goes home and goes to a bar and has a drink. And I go, oh really? I've been with my brother most of that day. And this was late at night. I was coming back down to meet a friend. The entire day, Greg had one, probably smaller than this, probably about this big, tiny little watered down mojito. The entire day. If anyone drank as much as they say Greg and Amanda Winley drink, they'd be dead. They would have, their alcohol would have a blood level. The stories of this are greatly exaggerated, but I love that. And Greg Ayres, I got in an argument one time with, on getting ready for a panel, Greg and a couple of different panelists, girls sitting on the front row. And I was like, hey, and I'm so excited. I'm like, really? What's up? She goes, I get to see Greg Ayres. And I said, yeah, actually it's Ayres. And she goes, no, it's Ayres. Look, I'm his brother. It's Ayres. That's the way we pronounce our name. Another thing that people screw up all the time, and please don't, it's not Kyle Hebert, it's Kyle Hebert. H-E-B-E-R-T. Mr. Hebert. It's French, or French Canadian, or something like that, I'm not sure. The other one that just kills me, beautiful voice actress, Hillary, H-A-A-G. Hey. Not hog, not hag. She's like, why do people keep saying Hillary hag? That just sounds so ugly. And she's a beautiful woman, but she just had a beautiful little baby, so almost as big as she is, because she's tiny. Okay, another question. Yes?
Just to let you know that around here there's a big candy company called Hebert's.
Hebert,
It's
oh,
spelled
really?
the same way, at the Hebert's Mansion, so...
Okay.
Around here, everybody's been saying...
But this is everywhere. Everybody calls it,
Yeah.
or Herbert. H-E-B-E-R-T, Herbert. So whenever I see him at a convention, I'm like, hey, Kyle Hebert, and hey, Chris Ayres. Maybe that's why people mispronounce it. I don't know. Another question. Yes.
You mentioned that you had a history in Broadway.
I did some work on Broadway.
What was the transition of working in Broadway on stage, being more physical, and how was that transition into voice acting?
Okay, this is a funny story about that. Because I've been doing theater most of my life. I've been working since I was 6. I did my first commercial at 6 in Virginia. And it is very different. You have to stay in front of the mic. You'll notice I already tend to move around a lot. There are some ways that it helps. I think coming from a background that's primarily musical theater and classical theater, because you're dealing with heightened language and a heightened energy, it makes the transition a lot easier. There are some things that you can do that they teach you. Hang on, I'm going to have to get off the... Well, I can't. Oh well. Hang on. Is this mic on the floor working? Mic on the floor working? Okay, cool. I'm going to come down here for a second. There are a couple of things you can do in the booth for impact forwards. You have to be sure that, I sometimes have to take off my shoes, but I won't hear you. Get everything out of your pocket. But if I need to take, let's say I run into something, one of the things that I will do is raise up on my toes so that I can go, what that does, that drop, and especially if you're having to talk and run into something, causes a contraction in your diaphragm that you can't do on your own. There's no way that your body, it's like if you're running, I can do this and keep my head right in front of the mic, but you're hearing what it's doing to my diaphragm. It's causing a sound that sounds more like somebody running. So there are a lot of physical things that you can do. The best story about that involves scans. Because of my touch directing, one trick we use if we're being strangled or something is to slightly hold your breath so that your face turns red. First big fight in Gans, I'm fighting the big green onion alien, or the big green onion head alien, and he grabs one hand, he grabs the other, he's struggling within the suit, And so, man, we're shooting we're recording that scene now. I'm holding my breath. And Matt says, okay, good. Okay, we need to do it again. And I'm holding my breath, and we did that scene about 6 times. I was like, whew. And I'm like, well, I'm about to pass out. And Matt's like, why? I said, well, I've been holding my breath. Why? So that my face turns red. Chris? No one's going to see that your face turned red. I went, yeah, I just realized that. So there are some things that are similar and some things that are different. Another example with that is from Speedcraft. Thank goodness for Gantz, because I had to cry so much in Gantz, especially through the last quarter of that series. He cries a lot, sobs a lot.